Hey guys, it's Vince, and today I would like to talk to you guys about the new DLC in Blaster Master Zero. This DLC introduces the character Ekoro from the Galgun series. If you don't know what Galgun is, let me show you real quick. So, that's Galgun. Now, the blue-haired girl you saw in the beginning of that's Ekoro. She is an angel, she is a Cupid in training, and she accidentally shot a high school boy with an aura of fascination, which causes all the girls in the high school to fall madly in love with him. Now, Ekoro helps the player get out of this sticky situation. So you use Ekoro's guns, and with those, you can shoot all the high school girls. But don't worry, you're not hurting them. You're instead filling them with a sense of complete euphoria. Now, that's a little weird, but, well, hey, in Blaster Master Zero, Ekoro's not really doing all of that. Instead, she gets to use Sophia the Third. However, it's her own pink purplish branded color of Sophia. Ekoro, outside of the tank, has two main abilities. She can jump and she can shoot. Now, compared to Jason, the normal character you play as in Blaster Master Zero, she is much more powerful. Jason, when he's outside, he dies very easily. He can't jump very high. If he falls from even the smallest height, Jason will die. Versus Ekoro, who by herself, she jumps very high. She jumps just as high as the other DLC character, Gunbolt. And also, if she holds down the jump button when she's in the air, she will initiate a hover, which allows her to stay there for a good portion of time, maybe line up your shots or try to cross a gap that you couldn't normally. And as for her shots, she can shoot out quite a few arrows, and they deal decent damage. She can take out most enemies in the overworld, so there's not really a lot of reason for her to be inside the tank, except for the fact that Ekoro is slower. She doesn't move as fast as Sophia the Third does. But the maps are still pretty easy to get around, just being Ekoro. And again, because she can jump so high and because she has the hover ability, it allows her to gain access to certain places that the tank wouldn't be able to get by itself normally. Alright, now that we've covered what Ekoro can do in the overworld, let's talk about what she can do in dungeons. Now in this top-down view, she's still using her guns, the Desert Angels. They shoot arrows, however, if she holds down the charge, she can shoot out a giant heart. This heart can penetrate through terrain, through enemies, so she can hit multiple enemies when she uses this charge attack. This is very useful as it allows her to take on enemies in situations where they can't really harm her. In addition, whenever she's dealing damage to enemies, it actually builds up her energy gauge. So unlike Gunbolt, unlike Jason, who had to really think about when they use their energy, Ekoro can really just use her sub-weapons all the time, because she can build up her energy just by shooting things. As for her sub-weapons, she has 3 different sub-weapons that she starts off with. One of them is the homing shot, where it just locks onto the enemy and deals damage. The one you see me using right here, this is actually the Angelic Grenade. The Angelic Grenade is very useful. It stuns all the enemies on the screen and also deals substantial damage to an enemy if you hit it directly with the grenade. The last weapon last sub-weapon is the Ekoro Kick. This one costs 2 HG instead of the 1 of the others. But it allows her to travel more distance and it deals the most damage. However, it's a short-ranged attack. Ekoro's moving there herself. So it's pretty useful, but I typically get more use out of the Angelic Grenade, mostly because it stuns all enemies on the screen. That makes it pretty useful. Oh, and again with the homing shot, while it does actually cost the same as the Angelic Grenade, well, that's what it says. It says it costs 1 HG, whatever that stands for, but actually it costs less than that. I'm pretty sure I've used it and it only costed about, I used 5, and I think that actually used up 1 cost of HG. My favorite thing about the Ekoro Kick, though, is how she can use it to move over hazardous terrain. be it water, spikes, poison, whatever. The kick doesn't, I guess it just doesn't do collision checking until she's at the end of the kick. Because yeah, she just goes right over water, poison, whatever, and she takes no damage. So, you know, if you have a good mind for it, you can find some shortcuts that only Ekoro can use thanks to her abilities, which is just something, you know, really adds the replayability to the game, being able to tackle dungeons in unique ways because of what Ekoro has to offer. I really enjoy her. I think she's a lot of fun. She's not quite as dynamic as Gunvolt is because of all the things he can do in the overworld, but Ekoro does make up for it in how powerful she is when it comes to her sub-weapons. So yeah, I have to say I really enjoy this DLC. It's still free for a couple of days. I believe it ends on the 14th, so if you haven't gotten the DLC for Blaster Master Zero for free already, I highly advise you do that. If you're seeing this video later and the DLC free period has run out, then I believe the price is only $2, which is pretty cheap. So if you found Ekoro interesting at all, I highly suggest getting the DLC. Either way, that'll be the end of this video. If you found it informative, please hit that like button. If you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. I generally play a lot of Nintendo games, especially anything Mega Man related. Mighty Gunvolt Burst is coming out in a few days, so when that game drops, expect a review to follow very soon after.